Willamette National Cemetery, the final resting place for thousands of veterans. The last of more than a dozen services held Friday, one to honor the life, memory, and military service of Martin Cerezo.
He was a beautiful baby and a good baby. Smart, very smart. But he'd get in trouble at school, and in retrospect, I look back and I wonder if he was struggling with his sexuality.
Not long after high school, Martin came out to his mother, Cheryle.
He just blurted it out and he said, "Mom, I'm gay." And my world kind of stopped in that moment. I didn't know what to do except hug him and cry with him and tell him I loved him.
Though it didn't happen right away, she fully embraced him as he was.
He hasn't changed. I just have learned something. That's all.
In 1989, Cheryle says her oldest son expressed an interest in joining the U.S. Navy, but she admits she was worried for him.
It was very scary to me. And I told him that, and he said, "Mom, it'll be fine. I'll be fine. Nothing will happen."
And for a while, he was fine, more than fine, in fact, exceeding expectations as a sailor.
He was recommended for retention. He was recommended for promotion.
Cheryle says there's no doubt in her mind that he loved it. Martin was assigned to the USS Constellation, an aircraft carrier, making a months-long trip from San Diego to Philadelphia. But dreams of a promising career would come crashing down.
Shortly after he had turned 20, he called me, and he was crying. And someone had outed him as gay.
Martin was ordered to name names to out other men on board. Then he and several others were given an other than honorable discharge.
He really felt it when they stripped his stripes off of his uniform, when they escorted him to the gate, when they took away his ID card. He felt other than honorable. The Navy not only didn't go easy on him, they couldn't have gone much worse.
Though Martin lived a full life, Cheryle says this moment followed him.
He was running from something or looking for something.
He couldn't get certain jobs, nor could he get military benefits. And the times he tried to start the paperwork to get his discharge upgraded, the painful trauma returned.
He was 20 years old and being kicked out of the Navy again.
Then came liver problems, then worsening liver cancer. In 2020, doctors gave Martin and his mother the prognosis. He had only months to live. Before he died, Cheryle promised him his discharge status would be upgraded, that he'd be buried with full military honors.
I held his hand and I told him, and he squeezed my hand. On January 2nd of 2021, he died with his brothers and me by his bed.
More than 2 years later, and after so many obstacles,
It hasn't been easy. I've cried a lot of tears.
Cheryle secured not only the honorable discharge for her son, but also the honor of being buried here at Willamette National Cemetery.
And I know that I have done what I promised him I would do as he lay dying. He was a good man, an honorable man.
Cheryle tells me she believes her son's health outcomes could have been much different had he received care from the VA. She also tells me her fight continues to help the many more, over 100,000 discharged for being who they are, get their full benefits and full honors for their service in the United States military. David?
You know, something they all deserve, and we salute Martin and his mother for standing up. Thank you, Alma, for that touching story.